I hear the call of the stars.
G'day everybody, Duckville here. Welcome to a replay from MLG 2011 from Raleigh tournament. This is going to be a match on dual side, of course, one of the GSL maps that was just sort of not really introduced a short time ago, but not too long ago anyway. But this will be from the championship bracket, of course, on day 3 of MLG, where we had EGHuk taking on his Korean opponent over here in the blue, who was coLMVPNoblesse. Now, of course, Complexity, for those of you guys who are sort of wondering what the whole name shenanigan was here, Complexity have a little partnership with the MVP Korean team, where of course they have a little exchange of various things. But of course, Noblesse is not one of the most notable players in the Korean scene, but he is certainly a quality player to boot, given that he was over there at MLG and was able to get this far in the tournament. So his opponent, of course, EGHuk, is a very well-known player, actually one of pretty much my favorite player in the whole of the StarCraft community, in the pro scene at least. And he's just done some great things, of course, proceeding through Code S in Korea in the GSL, doing a fantastic job there, and of course winning other various tournaments beforehand. So we'll be seeing these guys fighting it out here on dual side, and as we can see here, we've got the fancy little Zelnaga watchtowers in the middle that Noblesse just had a quick peek at. Does see the probe just sneak by here, and the probe is going to have a turn at that watchtower as well. But yeah, this has been an absolutely fantastic tournament for all the players, and I'm sure for all the people watching, especially given the situation over at North Carolina with the hurricane coming across. But just speaking of hurricanes and crazy things going on, look what we've got down here from Noblesse. He's actually got a proxy Rax down here in the natural of EGHuk, and this is a little bit like a reverse Macarax, where you actually put it in your opponent's natural expansion. But EGHuk's not going to be aware of this just yet. Does put down the cybernetic score, so it does look as if he's going to go pretty standard for the moment. He is just getting that pylon down as well, and he's not going to be aware of what is going on just yet, but his EGHuk probe is just over here in the mineral line, just being a little bit annoying, but is going to have to retreat for the moment. The shields have gone from that probe. The probe's still perhaps just a little bit confused as to what is going on, because there was no gas over here at Noblesse's main, so he's got to be a little bit suspicious of something coming along here. And the SCV that was on the Rax is just completed. There it is, and now building a bunker at the front door as well. This is going to be a little bit of trouble for EGHuk to contend with, given that he only has the one gate at the moment. Now chronoing out a Stalker, did not get a Zealot first, so just bear that in mind when this attack begins. And in fact, there is EGHuk just spotting this now. He's going to be a little bit worried about what's going to go on here. He is going to have to be well prepared for what is coming out here. The Stalker is now being chronoed, the second chrono being put down on that Stalker. We'll probably see another Stalker. There it is, and he is going to be able to take out this SCV. I would assume if he could just catch it. There it is, takes out one of the SCVs, which is a good start. Makes that bunker that was up at the top of the ramp cancel. The Rax that was down here at the natural is now being lifted, and a little bit surprising that he's lifted that already. Does already have 3 Marines out, plus a 4th one just coming along here. This guy's perhaps going to try and have a poke up the ramp, but he's not going to be able to. Retreats inside the bunker, and the Stalker will have a lot to contend with while these 4 Marines are inside, not to mention with a repairing SCV just sitting there and now patrolling, in fact, just to make sure that he's getting the job done. But down here to the southern side, this Rax, I'm still a little bit confused as to what the plan is there from Noblesse. He's just going to hang it about. Perhaps he's going to try and drop in the top part, the southern side of the base here, and produce some Marines from inside, but we'll see what's happening. Meanwhile, just while this is all going on, Noblesse still trying to build up his economy a bit further, getting a 3rd Rax over here, building a bunker and a command center as well. So this is a little bit of pressure at the front door, along with a quick expansion there from Noblesse. I love this tactic. So he's got EGHuk contained, as we can see here. EGHuk currently sitting on just these 2 Stalkers. A couple of sentries will be popped out shortly. The Rax is still floating around, just checking out what is going on. Sees 2 extra gates here for EGHuk, so it does look as if this is going to be a 4 gate to bust out at least, perhaps even a 4 gate to actually counter-attack once the pressure comes along. And now the Marines have actually retreated. They've done their duty. They've stopped any sort of fast expansion there from EGHuk. Now going to salvage this bunker, but the Marine will have to be on his, have to put his Nikes on, because this guy is not going to get anywhere with Stalkers chasing him. In fact, the Stalkers are not even watching properly, and they're going to let that Marine go. This Marine probably will get away, and we'll see if This guy will live to fight another day. As we can see, he is retreating there. The bunker now up and running here for Noblesse. He is aware of those 4 gates that were there. As we can see, this Rax is still floating around, providing all sorts of nuisance in the sky, probably yelling obscenities down at those probes. But now, that Marine did actually get caught by the Stalkers who walked up to the front door. We do have a second bunker just about done here for Noblesse. In fact, he's going to need perhaps another one, depending on what EGHuk is going to do here. We do have some more sentries just floating along as well. An expansion going up for EGHuk, so he's going to be trying to catch up in the economy here because, of course, Noblesse probably, let's have a quick look, he doesn't actually know. He's actually behind in the SCVs, of course. He probably had to put some extra minerals into all of these racks that were built up. Stim is on the way for Noblesse, so he's going to have that probably in time to deflect an attack, I would assume. It's really dependent on how hard EGHuk is going to go at this expansion, whether he's going to sit back and just try and do a very soft contain on Noblesse, or if he's actually going to just actually chrono out everything out of these gates, and perhaps he will be able to, and then try and do some sort of push. But the sentries, Stalkers, are now working on that barracks. They're probably going to be able to get it down, if not at least into the red, and one Zealot is going to have to retreat here. It is not fast enough to outrun these Marines, of course. They will be able to take some pot shots at him when he's running away, and if the Marauder catches up, you can definitely expect the end of that that Zealot. But of course, the Marauders don't actually have concussive shell just yet. Had to spend a lot of those minerals, as we mentioned, on getting those racks up, getting that fast expansion up. So EGHuk currently sitting in not a bad spot. He's actually in the lead in supply. He's currently sitting at 60 supply. Noblesse currently supply blocked, in fact, and EGHuk is actually on 4 more probes than his opponents. So this has actually become quite a tight game for both of these guys here, but we all have a little bit of a battle here, expecting some awesome sentry work here from EGHuk. There he goes, cuts out some of those Marines, perhaps wants to put a block around the back there, but doesn't actually get in position to just at the moment here, and it does look as if he is going to push. We'll probably see perhaps EGHuk may bring out a probe to actually get a pylon up near Noblesse's base, but Noblesse now, with this expansion up, is going to have to be very careful. This is quite a decent force, especially with those sentries in the mix there, cutting off some of those units from escaping. The one Zealot there tanking some of the damage. The Stalkers are now just trying to push around the side so they don't get hit by those guys up the top off the cliff there, but the orbital command did not get out in time. Perhaps if EGHuk can put some damage onto this, he may be able to get it a little bit lower, but of course you would expect Noblesse will be able to repair it in quick time. There is a probe. He is going to get that pylon down to warp in some reinforcements. Now actually going to use the orbital command as part of the wall on this side of the base here. Gets it down, and this will probably be get a little bit of repair going. There it is. An observer, in fact, is also out for EGHuk. Cuts off some of these Marines with some beautiful force fields there. Nice micro there from Noblesse to pick up those Marines that were stranded out the front and drops them behind the force fields, and these guys will be healed up for the moment. There are 2 medevacs currently sitting on the field there, and Noblesse is going to have to be very careful with how he maneuvers this particular position, because if he pushes out too hard, as we can see there, some of these units will be picked off by those Stalkers down at the front. These Stalkers don't have any upgrades just yet, but the Stim Marines will be able to do quite a bit of damage if they're left unattended. But now EGHuk trying to put some more damage in here. This observer is giving him all sorts of vision over here. Gives him vision on the orbital command and nearly gets that down into the red. And now with extra gateways now up for EGHuk, he's got 2 extras coming down here. Robotics Bay now on the way as well, along with a couple more gas. He will be able to start cranking out those Colossus out of the robotics facility, along with extra units as well. Now still sitting out the front here, just being really annoying. He's like a salesperson out the front of your house, just trying to sell you something, but Noblesse does not want to buy it, and he's not going to let him much in the front door at all. But now these medevacs actually, one of them getting in trouble and getting taken down there. The Stalkers are just in quite a decent number there. The factory is definitely going to go down here. Noblesse, I'm a bit surprised he's let that burn down. It is going to die in just a second. In fact, there are some SCVs there just going to repair that up. That's probably not the greatest idea now. I want to retreat it. There you go. It does have, holy moly, look at all these Stalkers now coming in from EGHuk. He does not have Blink just yet, but he's, I'll be a bit surprised if he doesn't get that cranked out, but of course he will have the Colossus tech coming along shortly, which will also give him a huge advantage. Noblesse finally taking out that observer, which has given him a lot of trouble with that vision that it provided EGHuk, and now we sit at a sort of quiet moment, probably a calm before the storm, because you can assume that EGHuk is going to let loose with some more units in just a moment. Look at this goat here. It's actually cornered by those zealots. No, it's not. It escapes. That's a clever goat. But meanwhile, at the front, we've got EGHuk being very, very clever himself. Look at all these units going down here. We've got just the units now pushing out here. Noblesse has decided that it is time to move out, but I really don't think that's enough. He's going to have to sit back, get a few more units out. Look, we've got 4 racks, we've got 3 with Tech Labs, 1 with a reactor, and now he's actually starting to get quite low on his minerals here. I'm a bit surprised that he hasn't actually tried to float down to the side expansion down here at the 3 o'clock earlier, but there he goes. He is starting to get that done. And speaking of which, down here, at the top left, we actually have Huk expanding to the gold base there, so he is going to be able to get that up. Meanwhile, he has pulled back from the base here. He's done enough damage to restrict Noblesse just to that one base for round about, that's what we're sitting on, around about 8 to 9 minutes now. So he's done a really good job of keeping that, keeping Noblesse at bay here. He's finally going to be able to get this natural expansion up, but just look back here at what Huk is up to. He's got more units just starting to warp in here. We've got Colossus Tech here getting the robotics bay churning there with the extended thermal lance and probably a Colossus or 2 on the way as well. There we go. We've got 1 out already. We've got a second one as well. Huk doing a great job here. This is one thing which you do want to be very careful of. If you're going to contain the Terran, you just need to be really careful of these sort of counter-attack drops, which can occur quite a lot. And as we can see here, Huk is quite prepared, sees that that was on the way, and Noblesse is going to have to do something pretty clever if he's going to actually get in here, because as we look here, we've got a whole lot of units sitting at the front here. Just to give you a quick tally, we've got 12 Zealots, 1 Colossus, 12 Stalkers, and 4 Sentries, and we'll see if Noblesse has enough to contend with all of this. But with that Colossus out, I really don't think so. Now that the extended thermal lance is done, tries to snipe out that Colossus, but he's actually way too close and has to back off here. The force field's not doing a great job there from Huk, but he will be able to just push Noblesse back for the time being, especially with this second Colossus out. This is going to give Huk a massive advantage right here. Now spotting this floating factory. I believe that is actually the factory that we had over in Noblesse's base, so he's just floating this guy around, and he's going to have to be very careful. He could lose this eventually. Just looking at the gold expansion here from Huk, that is up and running quite nicely here. Currently sitting there in the lead in the economy stakes, of course. We've got him sitting at 58 harvesters to 30, currently sitting at around about 1,800 mineral income. But now, while we're talking about the income, Noblesse has decided to march around the side. We've got a flanking force from Huk, along with a force coming down from the southern part there as well. He's going to have to be very careful here. Noblesse is probably going to lose everything here if he's not careful. So nice starter step there, getting those Stalkers out of the way, getting them just pushed back, and now we will see if Huk is just going to push through and perhaps just absolutely destroy this base here. We've got 5 Vikings out here for Noblesse. He will be able to do a little bit of damage to those Colossus if they're not carefully microed, but a lot of Stalkers and Zealots on the ground as well. But now, in fact, the Stalker count may not be enough to deal with all those Vikings in the sky. 1 Colossus does go down. Some nice starter step micro again from Noblesse here. We do see him just trying to micro back. Those Zealots are getting quite low on health with that stim, just giving those Marines and Stalkers a lot of damage. But now, with the Colossus off to the side here, he should be able to blast through everything with some nice micro. Does actually lose all of the Colossus here. Huk's going to have to be very careful. Don't want to overcommit, but I can see we've actually got a really low count of Marauders there. So he can back off just a little bit and make sure he's prepared for any next, any sort of following counterattack here from Noblesse. As we can see, Noblesse now mined out pretty much in the main here. We've got supply drops being used as well. Bit surprised he didn't use more of those. Now Huk just getting very cute, taking the expansion, the gold expansion, down to the southern right side of the map, and now we're currently sitting here with Noblesse is going to be in quite a lot of trouble. As we can see, the upgrades for Huk doing quite nicely. 2 extra gates along with charge just coming through, along with, I believe, where is that forge? We have a forge, there it is. Actually lost it. Forge has a +1 armor on the way, so he is going to be able to do a little bit more damage, given that he does get a little bit more survival on the units, especially with the Zealots against this sort of MMM force. Once you have a Guardian Shield up, the Marines do like no damage at all. It's quite crazy. And there goes the last of the forces there from Noblesse. He's being very, very daring here. Bit surprised he's trying to push out here. There is a Colossus with the extended thermal lance. 1 swipe and a couple of these guys could be going down. And in fact, GG there from Noblesse. Did he see? No, he didn't even see those golds. So he was just had enough, of course, with a very low unit count here with his 24 SCVs. He just lost way too much. So great play by Huk there, doing a nice amount of damage after that initial proxy attack there from Noblesse. And we'll go into game number 2 and see if Noblesse can come back or if Huk can take this straight out with a 2-0 victory. Cheers.